Hare Krishna, dear devotees, let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauri Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य व प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. We are reciting Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 23. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Upadrashtanumantacha cha bharta bhokta maheshwara paramatmeti chapi yukto dehesmin purusha para. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor. who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Arunita.
Upadrashtanumantaccha
Bharta.
Bharata
Bharta.
Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti Chapyukto Tehasmin Purusha Para. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achintadev Prabhu.
Oh, my dad's not can read right now.
Okay. Isha.
उपदृष्टानुमन्त्र भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul.
Krishnashish.
उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भवता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul.
Madhava.
Yet in this body there is another, transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul.
Rasapriya. Oh, she's not there. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
उपदृष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul.
Yeah. Okay. I'll recite, and then if anyone else wishes to recite, can recite. Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, text 23. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, and who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul. Okay, anyone else? So we'll begin reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 24. This is the last chapter of this canto, entitled Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in this chapter, we are reading about the Yadu dynasty, a description of the Yadu dynasty. So, in summary, we saw that Yadu, Maharaj Yadu, who is the eldest son of Maharaj Yayati, had 4 sons. And of these 4, of course, we saw the others also, their descendants, but now we are looking at Yadu's descendants. So Yadu had Yadu had 4 sons. Maharaj Yayati didn't have 4 sons. Maharaj Yayati had 5 sons. Yadu, Durvasu, Druhyu, Anu and Puru, 5. Yadu had 4 sons. Of these 4, we are particularly interested in Kroshta. So the Sahasrajit, Kroshta, Nala and Ripu. These are the 4 sons of Yadu. But we are particularly interested in Kroshta. So in Kroshta's descendants, after some generations, there is one king called Shashabindu. Shashabindu had 1,000,000,000 sons. He was the emperor of the whole Bhumandala. And he had 1,000,000,000 sons. This Shashabindu, again after a few generations, had a descendant called Satvata. Satvata had 7 sons. He had 7 sons. I'll try to tell the names, I'm not sure, but Brihadmana, then there is Vrishni, and then there is Devavridha, and there is Andhaka, Mahabhoja, Divya, and one more, like Raji or something. 7 sons. So of these 7, again, we saw the descendants of most of these sons, just like Mahabhoja's descendants constituted the Bhoja dynasty. Then anyway, we are particularly interested in arriving at Krishna's appearance. So of these 7, first we looked at Vrishni's descendants. So Vrishni had 2 sons, Sumitra and Yudhajit. Yudhajit had 2 sons, Shini and Anamitra. Shini and Anamitra. Anamitra, we discussed 3 of his sons, or maybe he had only 3 sons, but we discussed 3 sons of Anamitra: Nighna, Shini, and Vrishni. Nighna had, so who are they? They are the sons of Anamitra. So Anamitra and Shini are the sons of Yudhajit. So Anamitra had 3 sons, Nighna, Shini, and Vrishni. So Nighna had 2 sons, Satrajit and Prasena. Shini, one of Shini's descendants is Yudhana. And then Vrishni, we are interested in Vrishni's descendants. So Vrishni had 2 sons, Shwapalka and Chitraratha. Shwapalka's sons are Akrura and his brothers, 12 other brothers. Shwapalka's son. So Akrura is Shwapalka's son. And again, Akrura had 2 sons, like that. Then Chitraratha had several sons, and the prominent one amongst them is Viduratha. This Viduratha, after several generations, had a descendant called Hridika. Hridika had 3 sons, Devamida, Shatadhana, Kritavarma. Devamida had a son called Shurasena. Shurasena had 10 sons headed by Vasudeva, and he had 5 daughters. The eldest is Pritha. 10 sons and 5 daughters. Eldest of the sons is Vasudeva. Then we also discussed the sons born of the daughters yesterday. But before we discussed Chitraratha's descendants, we also discussed Andhaka. Who is Andhaka? One of the 7 sons of Satvata. So particularly, we are interested in Andhaka's descendants and Vrishni's descendants. In Vrishni dynasty comes Vasudev, the father of Krishna, and in Andhaka dynasty comes Devaki, the mother of Krishna. So in Andhaka dynasty, after some generations, there is a king called Punarvasu, and Punarvasu had 2 sons. Had a son and a daughter, Ahuka and Ahuti. Ahuka had 2 sons, Devaka and Ugrasena. Devaka had he had 7 daughters, and I think he had 4 sons. 4 sons and 7 daughters, Devaka. Of these 7 daughters, one of them is Devaki. So all 7 daughters of Devaka were married to Vasudev. Now Devaka's brother Ugrasena had 9 sons and 5 daughters. The 5 daughters of Ugrasena were married to the brothers of Vasudev. And the eldest of the sons is Kamsa. Like this. We saw the descendants of Andhaka and the descendants of Vrishni. So Vrishni and Andhaka are one of the 7 sons of Satvata. So then, while discussing the descendants or the sons and daughters of Shurasena, we saw the 5 daughters. Who are the 5 daughters? Kunti or Pritha. Then we saw Pritha was adopted by Shurasena's friend Kunti, Maharaj Kunti. And therefore her name became Kunti after she was adopted by Maharaj Kunti. Her name became Kunti. And then we also saw how she gave birth to Karna. And then later on she had the Pandavas from Maharaj Pandu. So these are the descendants from the daughters of Shurasena. And then what about the other daughters? I think Shrutadeva is the other daughter. And she was married to Vriddha Sharma. And they had a son called Dantavakra. Then another daughter, Shrutakirti and Rajadi Devi. And then there's one more, Shrutashrava, I think. So they also married, and Rajadi Devi had, she was married to Jaya or Jayasena, I think. And they had a son called Santardhana and others. I think 5 sons headed by Santardhana. Shrutakirti, let me check. Shrutishrava or Shrutakirti. So she gave birth to Shishupal.
You remembered so much, Mataji. All the names.
Trying. I'm also getting old, not able to remember. But yeah, let's see. Let's actually, the details are given in the shlokas more than in the chart. The chart is just to take a glimpse. If you want to know the names properly, then it's better to see the to see the shlokas. Okay, we saw all this. Okay, Vriddha Sharma. Vriddha Sharma married Shrutadeva and they had Dantavakra. So that Kunti, then Shrutadeva. Next is Shrutakirti. Shrutakirti is married to Drishtaketu, king of Kekaya. and they had 5 sons headed by Santardhana. So Santardhana is not Rajadi Devi. It is Santardhana and his brothers. They were born to Shrutakirti and Drishtaketu. Then Rajadi Devi and Jayasena gave birth to Vinda and Anuvinda. Shrutashrava, the sister called Shrutashrava, gave birth to Shishupal. So we have to read the next verse. So all we read was that Shrutashrava married Damaghosha. Damaghosha is the king of Chedi. The king of Chedi called Damaghosha married Shrutashrava. So who are the 5 sisters of Vasudev? Pritha was married to Pandu and had the 5 Pandavas. And of course Karna. Then the other sister is Shrutadeva, married to Vridha Sharma, and Dantavakra is the son. Then Shrutakirti is married to Drishtaketu, and they had 5 sons headed by Santardhana. Rajadi Devi married Jaya or Jayasena. Rajadi Devi married Jayasena, and they had Vinda and Anuvinda. And the 5th sister, Shrutashrava, married Damaghosha, the king of Chedi. Now we are going to read the next verse. So what I didn't cover today is the names of the sons of other sons or the brothers of Vasudeva. I didn't cover that. And also I didn't cover the names of Kamsa's brothers and Kamsa's sisters. A couple of them I remember. Kamsa's sisters, Kamsa, Kamsavati, and also Kanka, like that, 3 of them. So totally 5 sisters are there. I think Rashtrapalika is one. So one more. But Kamsa's brothers' names that I didn't cover today, and also Devaka's sons and daughters, all the names I didn't cover today. We can memorize that another time. So now let's continue. So where are we now? We are reading Vrishni dynasty. In Vrishni dynasty, Devamida's son Shurasena, Shurasena's sons and daughters. So we covered among sons Vasudev. Of course, we didn't read about the sons' descendants yet. We started off with the daughters' descendants. So we covered 4 sisters. The 5th one, Shrutashrava, is married to Damaghosha, is said. The next verse, Aditi Lata Mataji. शिशुपालः सुतस्तस्य कथितस्तस्य सम्भवः देवभागस्य कंसायां चित्रकेतु बृहद्बलौ.
The son of Sutashrava was Shishupal, whose birth has already been described in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vasudeva's brother, named Devabhaga, had 2 sons born of his wife Kamsa. These 2 sons were Chitraketu and Brihadbala.
So this Shrutashrava married to Damaghosha, who is the king of Chedi. They had a son called Shishupal. Who is Shishupal? Shishupal's birth has already been discussed in the 7th canto, because Shishupal is none other than Hiranyakashipu, Ravana. Originally Jai, right? Jai and Vijay became, by the curse of the Kumaras headed by Sanaka. They were cursed to take birth on the earth as demons. So first they appeared as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, next as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and now as Shishupal and Dantavakra. So Shishupal, Dantavakra are cousins. Okay. Now we will read about the descendants of the sons of Shurasena. So Vasudev's brother named Devabhaga. So Vasudev had how many brothers? 9 brothers. So one of the brothers is called Devabhaga. Sorry. Vasudev's brother named Devabhaga had 2 sons born of his wife Kamsa. So who's Kamsa? Kamsa's sister. So remember, Kamsa's sisters or Ugrasena's sisters were all married to the brothers of Vasudev. So this is one brother, Devabhaga. Devabhaga was married to Kamsa and they had 2 sons named Chitraketu and Brihadbala. Next, Arunita. Kamsavatyam Devashravasa Suvira Ishumamstatha Bakaha Kankatu Kankayam Satyajit Purujit Tatha. Hare Krishna.
Vasudev's brother, named Devashrava, married Kamsavati, by whom he begot 2 sons, named
Suvira.
Suvira and Isuma. Kanka, by his wife Kanka, he begot 3 sons, named Baka, Satyajit, and Purujit.
Yeah. So Vasudev's first one brother was Devabhaga, who married Kamsa. Now another brother, Devashrava, married Kamsavati. Devashrava married Kamsavati. And they had 2 sons, Suvira and Ishuman. Then another brother, Kanka, Vasudev's brother Kanka, married Kanka. And they had 3 sons, Baka, Satyajit and Purujit. So how many brothers did we see so far? Of course, Vasudev, then Devabhaga, Devashrava, Kanka. All of them are married to Kamsa's sisters so far. Srinjayo Rashtrapalyam cha Vrisha Durmarshanaadikan Harikesha Hiranyakshav Shura Bhumyam cha Shyamakaha. Prabhuji is going to read.
No, Mataji.
Okay. Isha.
King Srinjaya, by his wife Rashtrapalika, begot sons headed by Vrisha and Durmarshana. King Shyamaka, by his wife Shurabhumi, begot 2 sons named Harikesha and Hiranyaksha.
Now, further, so the other brothers of Vasudev, Srinjaya, married Rashtrapalika, also a daughter of Ugrasena. Srinjaya married Rashtrapalika and had sons headed by Vrisha and Durmarshana. That means they had other sons also. These were the elder ones, Vrisha and Durmarshana. Then King Shyamaka, by his wife Shurabhumi, begot 2 sons named Harikesha and Hiranyaksha. So how many brothers did we see? Vasudev, Devabhaga, Devashrava, Kanka. Now Srinjaya and then Shyamaka. Okay, 6 so far. So Shyamaka married Shurabhumi and they had Harikesh and Hiranyaksha. And Srinjaya married Rashtrapalika and had Vrisha, Durmarshana and others. Next, Krishnashish. Mishrakesyam Apsarasi Brikadin Vatsakas Takshapushkara Shaladin Durvakshyam Vrika Adadhe.
Thereafter, King Vatsaka, by the womb of his wife Mishrakeshi, who was an Apsara, begot sons headed by Vrika. Vrika, by his wife Durvaksha, begot Taksha, Pushkara, Shala, and so on.
Okay. So this is not the same Rikasur as we know, because Rikasur was actually produced by uh, Vishwarup's father's name is Tvashta. Tvashta. So this is another Vrika, and besides that, Vrika was actually born in a demon, as a demon, right? So again, continuing with the brothers of Vasudev, next is King Vatsaka by the womb of his wife Mishrakeshi. Who is Mishrakeshi? Mishrakeshi is not a daughter of Ugrasen Maharaj. Mishrakeshi was an Apsara. So Vasudev's brother Vatsaka married an Apsara called Mishrakeshi, and they had sons called Vrika, headed by Vrika. So Vrika and others. And Vrika by his wife Durvakshi. So we are seeing the descendants. So sometimes we go to further generations. So Vrika was begotten by Vatsaka. Vatsaka and Mishrakeshi, they had Vrika. And Vrika by his wife Durvakshi begot Taksha, Pushkara, Shala, and so on. Not Takshaka, Taksha. So Vrika by his wife Durvakshi had Taksha, Pushkara, and Shala. Next. So we saw seven, right? So far, seven brothers. Next, Madhava. Sumitrarjuna Paladin, Samika tu Sudamani, Anakaha Karnikayam Vai, Ritadhama Jayavapi.
From Samika, by the womb of his wife, Suramani, came Sumitra. Arjunapala and other sons, King Anaka, by his wife Karnika, begot two sons, namely
Ritadhama.
Rama and Saya.
So 8 and 9. 8 is Samika, 9 is Anaka. Okay. How many names did we see? You remember? Vasudev, then Devabhaga, Devashrava, Kanka, Srinjaya, and I think last one was Samika, Vatsaka. 7 was Vatsaka. One more. After Srinjaya, there's one more name. Let's go back. So Samika is now Samika and Anaka. Okay, Samika and Anaka. Let me see. Devashrava married Kamsavati. Then before that was Devabhaga. So Vasudev, then Devabhaga, Devashrava. 3. Kanka is 4. Srinjaya 5. Shyamaka 6. Okay. Vatsaka 7. Vatsaka. Samika 8. So Samika married Sudamani and had Sumitra. And then Anaka is 9. So there's one more. Right. King Anaka by his wife Karnika begot two sons named Ritadhama and Jaya. So next verse. Pauravi Rohini Bhadra Madira Rochana Ila देवकी प्रमुखाश्चासन् पत्न्या आनकदुन्दुभेः रसप्रिया
Devaki,
पौरवी
Pauravi, Rohini, Bhadra,
मदिरा
Madira, Rotana, Ila, and others were all wives of
आनकदुन्दुभि.
Anakaduntabi. Among them all, Devaki was her sister.
Okay, so here are the daughters. Actually, not exactly daughters, because these are the wives of Vasudev, but these are not all sisters of Devaki, because Devaki's sisters, all of them have Deva in their name. They are all Deva, like daughters of Devaka, right? Devaki and others. But these are the others. It's not like Vasudev was married only to the 7 daughters of Devaka. He had other wives also, like Pauravi, Rohini, Bhadra, Madira, Rochana, Ila, and others. Right? He had many wives. They were all the wives of Vasudev. Why is Vasudev known as why is Vasudev's name Anakadundubi? Anyone remembers? Why is he called Anakadundubi? Why is Vasudev called Anakadundubi? What is Dundubi? Hmm? Huh? Festival. Okay. Why? Why is he called a festival? Dundubi means drums. You hear several times drums.
Because when
Dundubi.
he was born, the demigods sounded kettle drums.
Very good. Why?
Because he was going to be the father of Krishna.
Very good. Excellent. Yes. That's why he's Anakadundubi. When Vasudeva was born, all the demigods were playing kettle drums because he was going to, you know, he was going to not prepare, he was already the right place in which the Supreme Lord could appear, Vasudeva, right? So, therefore, when Vasudeva appeared, it means now Krishna is going to appear. So that's why when Vasudeva took birth, when Vasudeva was born, all the demigods played kettle drums. That's why his name became Anakadundubi. So these are all the wives of Vasudeva or Anakadundubi. These are some of the wives, and he has other wives also. Amongst all these wives, Devaki was the chief. You can guess why. Because she gave birth to Krishna. So she was the chief. Okay. I just want to go back one more time. Here are the brothers, if we missed any. So Vrika is also counted as a son. Why? Vrika is said to be the son of Vatsaka, I thought. Because I counted and I got only 9. See, Vrika. Vatsaka, by the womb of his wife Mishrakeshi, begot sons headed by Vrika. So Vrika is not a brother of Vatsaka. Vrika is the son of Vatsaka, isn't it? And Vrika, by his wife
He
Durvakshi,
means
begot
two
Taksh.
different Vikas, I think.
That's possible too. Yeah, it's quite possible. We saw that happen before, so that's a possibility. There's a brother Vrika and a son Vrika. It's possible. Okay. So then Vrika, so like Vatsaka by his wife Mishrakeshi, gave birth to sons headed by Vrika, and then the last brother Vrika by his wife Durvakshi gave birth to Taksha, Pushkara, Shala, like that. Okay. So now the count is good. We have 10 sons. Okay. Next verse. So now we looked at Vasudev's wives. Vasudev had several wives, right? So from each of his wives again he had sons. Text 46. Sonia Mataji. Balam gadam saranam cha durmadam vipulam dhruvam vasudevastu rohinyam kritadin udapadayat.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Vasudeva, by the womb of his wife Rohini, begot sons such as Bala, Gada, Sarana, Durmada, Vipula, Dhruva, Krita, and others.
Yeah. So Vasudeva had so many powerful sons. Just from Rohini, we know from Devaki, he had 8 sons. Of course, 6 of them were killed by Kamsa. But then, of course, Baladev was transferred from Rohini to Devaki. And then Krishna was born. And again, a daughter, Subhadra, was also born from Devaki. Now, Rohini, Vasudev, by the womb of his wife Rohini, begot sons such as Bala. Bala means Balaram, Baladev, Bala, Gada, Sarana, Durmada, Vipula, Dhruva, Krita, and others. Next. Nilambari Radha Mataji. Subhadro Bhadra Bahuscha Durmado Bhadra Evacha Pauravyastana Yahyete Bhutadya Dvadasha Bhavan Nandopananda Kritaka Shuradya Madiratmajaha Kaushalya Keshinam Tvekam Asuta Kulanandanam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
From the womb of Pauravi came 12 sons, including Bhuta, Shubhadra, Bhadrabahu, Dhrumada, and Bhadra. Nanda Upananda, Kritaka, Shura, and others were born from the womb of Madira. Bhadra, the Kaushalya, gave birth to only one son named Keshi.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So they are all the sons born of Vasudeva from his different wives. Pauravi is one wife. So from Pauravi, Vasudeva had 12 sons. Bhuta, Subhadra, not Subhadra the lady, Subhadra man, right? Bhuta, Subhadra, Bhadrabahu, Durmada, and Bhadra. There were some of them, right? 5 of the 12 sons. Then Nanda, Upananda, Kritaka, Shura, and others were born from the womb of Madira. Bhadra gave birth to only one son named Keshi. Bhadra gave birth to Keshi.
Mataji, Bhadra is a son, right? So
No, wife. Bhadra is wife of Vasudeva.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Many times you have
And
several
she's
persons with the
Kaushalya.
same name. Yeah, Kaushalya. Another name of
Okay.
Bhadra is Kaushalya.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Sure. Okay, so next Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. रोचनायाम् अतो जाता हस्तहेमाङ्गदादयः किलायाम् उरुवल्कादीन् यदुमुख्यान् अजीजनत्.
Vasudeva, by another of his wives, whose name was Rochana, begot Hasta, Hemangada, and other sons. And by his wife named Ila, he begot sons headed by Uruvalka, all of whom were chief personalities in the dynasty of Yadu.
Yeah. So other wives, who were the other wives? Rochana, Ila, like that. So from Rochana, Vasudeva had Hasta, Hemangada, and others. and from Ila he begot Uruvalka and others. So all these sons were chief personalities in Yadu dynasty. So now we'll start again. Arunita or Aditya Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
विपृष्टो धृतदेवायाम् एक आनकदुन्दुभेः शान्तिदेवात्मजा राजन् प्रशमा प्रसितादयः.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
From the womb of
Dritadeva,
one of the wives of Anakadundavi Vasudev, came a son named Viprista. The sons of Santideva, another wife of Vasudev, was
Prashama.
Prashama, Prasita, and others. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One thing is, when you say Vasudev, Vasudev means the son of Vasudev. Vasudev is Krishna. So if you say Vasudev, then it will mean the son of Vasudev. So we shouldn't say Vasudev, we should say Vasudev. Okay? Vasudev's son, Vasudev. Okay? Vasudev.
Okay.
So now, other wives, Dritadeva. Vasudev's other wives, Dritadeva. From Dritadeva, he had a son called Viprishta. And from Shantideva, he had Prashama, Prasita, and others. So just some prominent names are mentioned. Of the many sons, just one or two names are mentioned from each wife. Aditi Lata Mataji. Rajanyakalpa Varshadya Upadeva Dasha Vasuhamsa Suvamshadyaha Shri Devayastu Shat Sutaha.
Mataji, my mom will read after one person.
Okay. So next, Isha.
Vasudev also had a wife named Upadeva, from whom came 10 sons, headed by Rajanya, Kalpa, and Varsha. From Srideva, another wife, came 6 sons, such as Vasu, Hamsa, and Suvamsha.
You can actually see how capable Vasudev was, and also the other kings in the dynasty we see. But just look at Vasudev. He had so many wives, it's hard for us to even remember the names. But from each wife he had so many sons and is maintaining all of them. So, it's not just about marrying so many wives. That's not the, what do you say, that's not the accomplishment, just marrying, but actually giving them children and then maintaining those children and wife, keeping them satisfied. That is why in Kali Yuga, one marriage is sufficient. One is not even able to satisfy one wife, provide for her. I was just listening to one lecture by Srila Prabhupada today. Srila Prabhupada says, can you keep even one wife, like a queen? So when you marry, you're supposed to keep your wife, like provide everything that she needs, like, take care of her like a queen. And what to speak of having so many wives and taking care of each of them like a queen, and then giving her so many children and raising them and providing for them. How capable a man should be to be able to do that, isn't it? Anyway. So the list is going on and on. So Vasudeva had another wife, Upadeva, who had 10 sons. And just 2-3 names are mentioned. Rajanya, Kalpa, Varsha. Another wife, Sri Deva, had 6 sons, headed by Vasu, Hamsa, Subhamsa. Next. देवरक्षितया लब्धा नवचात्रा गदादयः वसुदेवः सुतानष्टाव आदधे सह देवया. Mataji is going to read. Aditya Mataji.
No, Mataji, she can't.
Okay. Okay. Krishna Shish.
By the semen of Vasudeva in the womb of Devarakshita,
Devarakshita.
9 sons were born, headed by Katha. Vasudeva, who was religion personified, also had a wife named Sahadev, by whose womb he begot 8 sons, headed by Shruta and Navara.
Also pay attention. Vasudeva was religion personified. He is not an ordinary person. Vasudeva is he in whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, appeared. Unless that person is on the transcendental platform, the Lord would never appear. He would never accept such a person as his father. So Vasudeva was religion personified. He had so many wives and so many sons. Don't even think, that, oh, he had so many wives, that means he's lusty or something. No. Vasudeva was religion personified. He had another wife called Sahadeva, by whose womb he begot 8 sons, headed by Shruta and Pravara. So these are all the descendants coming from Vasudeva alone. Next, 53 to 55. Madhava. Pravarashrutamukhyamscha sakshat dharmo vasuniva vasudevastu devakyam ashtaputran ajijanat kirtimantam sushenam cha bhadrasenam udaradhihi rijum sammardanam bhadram sankarshanam ahishwaram अष्टमस्तु तयोरासीत् स्वयं एवा हरिः किल सुभद्रा च महाभागा तव राजन् पितामही. Madhav.
The eight sons born of Sahadeva, Tiras, Pravara, and Sutta are exact incarnations of the 8 Vasus in the heavenly planets. Vasudeva also begot 8 highly qualified sons to the womb of Devi. These include
Kirtiman,
Susena, Padrasena, Vidzu, Samardana,
Sammardana,
Samardana, Padra, and Sankarsana, the controller and serpent incarnation. The 8th son of the Supreme Personality of God is himself, Krishna. The highly fortunate Subhadra, the one daughter, was their grandmother.
yeah. So then again, other wives of Vasudeva. From Sahadeva, one wife. There were 8 sons, headed by Pravara and Shruta. And these 8 sons were actually incarnations of the 8 Vasus. 8 sons of Sahadeva were incarnations of 8 Vasus who descended from the heavenly planets. And from Devaki also, Vasudeva had 8 sons, who were the first 6 that were killed by Kamsa. Kirtiman, Sushena, Bhadrasena, Riju, Sammardana, Bhadra. Okay, the 6 sons that were killed by Kamsa are Kirtiman, Sushena, Bhadrasena, Riju, Sammardana, Bhadra. Kirtiman, Sushena, Bhadrasena, Riju, Sammardana, Bhadra. And then, of course, there's Balaram or Sankarshan, 7. And finally, Balaram or Sankarshan is the controller and serpent incarnation. And the 8th son was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna. So these are the 8 sons born of Devaki. The highly fortunate Subhadra, the one daughter, was your grandmother. Whose grandmother? Parikshit Maharaj's grandmother. Parikshit Maharaj's father, Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's mother is Subhadra. So Subhadra is the daughter of Devaki and Vasudeva. So Sukadev Goswami is saying Devaki had 8 sons and 1 daughter who is your grandmother. Pitamahi. Pitamaha means grandfather. Pitamahi means grandmother. Okay? Rasapriya. Purport.
The 55th verse says Swayameva Hari Kira, indicating that Krishna, the eighth son of Devaki, is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is not an incarnation. Although there is no difference between the supreme personality of Godhead Hari and his incarnation, Krishna is the original supreme person, the complete Godhead. Incarnations exhibit only a certain percentage of the potencies of Godhead. The complete Godhead is Krishna himself, who appeared as the eighth son of Devaki.
Yeah. In English, you don't have appropriate words to explain properly. So in Sanskrit, the word would be amsha, right? Amsha, avatar means one who descends from a higher realm. So would you call Krishna also avatar? Yes, because Krishna is descending from Golok Vrindavan Dham. So yes, he is also avatar, but he is also avatari. Why is he avatari? Because everyone else is actually coming from him. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, actually there is no difference between avatar and avatari. This is achintya. There is no difference and there is difference also. Achintya bheda bheda. How there is no difference? Because they are all Vishnu Tattva, right? So, but at the same time they're different because Krishna, the supreme original personality of Godhead, is 100%, whereas his amsha expansions, amsha avatars, like Narayan, then they would have maximum of 93% of God's qualities, 93%. But Krishna has 100%, like that. But at the same time, there's no difference because they're all Vishnu Tattva. They're all the supreme controller, right? As far as powers are concerned, it's the same person, same powers. But what is the difference? The difference is in Madhurya, in the sweetness, that which is found only in Goloka, in Krishna. Krishna also, especially in Goloka. In Dwaraka also, there's a mix of Madhurya and Aishwarya. Whereas in Vaikunthas, you'll see Aishwarya only. But in Vrindavan, there's no Aishwarya, only Madhurya, only sweetness. So that is complete Bhagavan, 100%. Krishna in Vrindavan is 100%. So what were we reading here about Lord Balaram is the 7th son of Devaki. He's an incarnation. Yes, we saw the controller and serpent incarnation we read here. And then the 8th son is Krishna himself, supreme personality of Godhead himself. So Srila Prabhupada is saying in the 55th verse, the last one, Ashtamastu tayorasit swayam eva hari kila. So the 8th son is Swayam Hari. Swayam Hari. 8th son is Swayam Hari. Swayam eva hari kila. Indicating that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. He is not an amsha. He is not an expansion, but he is the original personality of Godhead. Although there's no difference because they're all Vishnu Tattva, still there is some difference. It is best explained in Brahma Samhita. Deepa chireva hidashantaramabhyupetya Deepa ite vivrita hetu samana dharma. Right? So when there are many candles, there's one original candle from which all the others are lit. So that original candle is Krishna. All the others who receive their light from Krishna, they're all the other expansions. Okay, next. Sonia Mataji. Yada yada hi dharmasya क्षयो वृद्धिश्च पाप्मनः तदा तु भगवानीशा आत्मानं सृजते हरिः.
Whenever the principles of religion deteriorate and the principle of irreligion, Sri Hari appears by his own will.
Same as Bhagavad Gita, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvati bharata. So this is also found in Srimad Bhagavatam. So yeah, purport, Mataji, Priyanka Haripriya.
The principles by which an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead descends upon earth are explained in this verse. The same principles are also explained in Bhagavad Gita 4.7 by the Lord Himself. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. In the present age, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to inaugurate the Hare Krishna movement. At the present time, in Kali Yuga, people are extremely sinful and bad, manda. They have no idea of spiritual life and are missing the benefits of human form to live like cats and dogs. Under these circumstances, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has inaugurated the Hare Krishna movement, which is not different from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one associates with this movement, he directly associates with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. People should take advantage of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and thus gain relief from all the problems created in this age of Kali.
Yes. So yada yada hi dharmasya glani, dharmasya glani, yada yada hi, whenever, certainly, right? Certainly, whenever there is dharmasya glani, dharmasya glanir bhavati, right? That means there is a decline in dharma and bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya. There is a decline in religious principles and there is an increase in irreligion. Tadatmanam srijamyaham. At that time, I descend myself, Krishna is saying. So the first question that many new people uh, ask when they come to Krishna consciousness is, there's so much irreligion now, so many sinful activities are going on. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whenever there is decline in religious principles, he will descend. Why he is not descending now? Isn't it? You have heard that? Yes. I have heard and I have asked that question myself also. I actually asked my spiritual master. I mean, he was not my spiritual master at that time, but I was a student in college and I used to come listen to lectures and I had asked this question. Krishna says that he'll come whenever there is a decline in religious practices. So the answer I got at that time is confirmed here in Bhagavatam, that yes, Krishna has come. Krishna doesn't lie. Right? He has come. He has come as the Hare Krishna movement, as the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because there is a rise of irreligion and a decline in religious practices, the Lord has personally come as the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Hare Krishna movement. So, whoever takes shelter of the Hare Krishna movement comes to the Hare Krishna movement. Whoever takes shelter of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then is directly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the effects of the age of Kali, or the effects of irreligion, will not touch such a person. When he is, because when you are chanting Hare Krishna, you are with Krishna. And Krishna says, Krishna appears when to re-establish. Why Krishna comes? The next verse says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna, when you are with Krishna, then you will be protected by Krishna, Paritranaya sadhunam. And anyone who is trying to harm you or any other forces which are putting obstacles in your taking shelter of Krishna, those will be destroyed, and dharma samsthapanarthaya, once again religion will be re-established. So we have to take shelter of the holy name. Krishna is here, but we have to take shelter. If we take shelter of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then we are with Krishna. We are protected. And we means anyone. This is open to anyone and everyone. Whoever takes shelter of Krishna through the Hare Krishna movement and the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna movement is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this movement was inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this movement, the Hare Krishna movement inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is non-different from Krishna. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is non-different from Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is urging everyone to take advantage of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and thus gain relief from all problems created by the age of Kali. So this verse is exactly the same as Bhagavad Gita verse. Whenever the principles of religion deteriorate and the principles of irreligion increase, the supreme controller, the personality of Godhead, Sri Hari, appears by his own will. Yada yada hi dharmasya kshayo vriddhischa papmanaha. Abhyuttanam adharmasya is written as kshayo vriddhischa papmanaha. Tadatu bhagavan isha atmanam srijate harihi. Right? Tadatmanam srijamyaham. There Krishna. Tadatu bhagavan isha. So of course, there Krishna is directly speaking in first person, I will descend. Here Sukadev Goswami is saying in third person that Krishna will come whenever there is a rise of irreligion. Like that. Okay. So, one second. So just Aditi Lata Mataji is remaining, right? Priyanka Haripriya Mataji, right? So Mataji, go ahead and then we'll end here. Nahyasya janmano hetu karmano va mahipate atmamayam vineshasya parasya drashturatmanaha.
I have one question also, but let me read first, then I will ask.
Okay.
O King, Maharaj Parikshit, but for the Lord's personal desire, there is no cause for his appearance, disappearance, or activities. As the super soul, he knows everything. Consequently, there is no cause that affects him, not even the results of fruitive activities.
O King Maharaj Parikshit, but for the Lord's personal desire, there is no cause for his appearance, disappearance, or activities. As the super soul, he knows everything. Consequently, there is no cause that affects him, not even the results of fruitive activities. Yes. There's no cause that affects him, not even the results of fruitive activities. Oh, it's a big purport. We will read tomorrow again. Okay. And tomorrow, if Saujanya Mataji is not there, then
Today is better, no? Because today is Sunday.
for me, no, Mataji. I have a class tomorrow and I need to take a look at that chapter also. But it'll be your turn tomorrow again. If Mataji is not there, it'll be your turn. So you'll continue with the purport tomorrow. Because this takes some discussion. That is why. If it were just reading, I would have just read it maybe.
This is a
But
heavy sloka.
heavy, yeah. Philosophy.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, your question.
Yes, Mataji. So, yada yada hi dharmasya, on that, this is also discussed later on, that Krishna doesn't need to come himself to remove these miscreants, because he can come, he can just give heart attack and or virus, and everyone will be wiped out. So he is also, remember in the next verses, I think a couple of verses after, it said that he mainly comes for the devotees.
Yes,
to
actually, that's true.
give them
That's
pleasure.
true.
That's the main purpose, and like he does this also while he comes. So this becomes
Actually, the way Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains is, even to give protection to the devotees also. What type of protection? As much as I try to avoid, I cannot stop. When there is explanation required, I just have to explain. So that will take some time. But anyway. Also, I just realized Nilamri Mataji didn't get her turn. I somehow missed Mataji. So, okay. So just first, let's address this point first. Devotees don't feel any pain actually. Even if they are tortured by demons, they don't, the pure devotees, they think Lord Brahma's prayer, right? However difficulties come in their lives, how much ever difficulties come, they think Tattenukampa Susamikshamana Bhunjana Evatma Kritam Vipakam. Right? They think this is all because of my own past karma I am suffering. They don't even bother to ask the Lord for help. Please protect me from this demon. No. The pure devotees, they don't even ask the Lord to protect them or anything. They don't ask. Then what is the point in the Lord's coming to help them? So actually, the pain that a devotee is suffering, right, is separation from Krishna. Separation from Krishna. As far as giving protection from enemies or poverty or whatever other problems, even if a devotee has, does the Lord need to come personally? No. That can be done even by his assistants. Giving protection from a demon, the Lord doesn't have to come personally, just like Hiranyakashipu. Okay, that also we will discuss. That's next. But paritranaya sadhunam, to give protection to the devotees means what type of protection? That which cannot be done by anyone else. Even his associates, his energies cannot take care of this situation. He only can do. What is it that only Krishna can do and others cannot do? His expansions or his energies cannot do. What is it? The devotees are hankering for him. It's a loving relationship, right? So they want to see Krishna. They want to, they are feeling great separation from Krishna. They want the association of Krishna. Who can do that? Can Krishna's associate go and fill their hearts? No. For that, Krishna only has to come. Nobody else can fulfill. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, Paritranaya sadhunam means the pain that the sadhus are feeling is separation from Krishna, and that pain can be removed only by Krishna. Therefore, Krishna himself comes down, and by showing himself to the devotees, he drives away their pain of separation. Okay, that's first one. Second, Vinashaya cha dushkritam. Yes, dushkritina means we saw there are different types of dushkritinas. Again, Rakshasas and demons can be killed by, there can be one big earthquake and they can all die. Why the Lord personally has to come and kill? Yes, Rakshasas can be killed by the Lord's, associates, by the material energy. But there are some exceptional demons, for them the Lord personally comes. And then there is a history behind that, we know. Ultimately, even these demons are the Lord's associates only. There was a specific purpose. The Lord wants to fight, right? Just like when there is an itch in the hand, right? Like he has this desire to fight, to exhibit his, chivalry. Who can be competent to fight with the Lord? Only the Lord's Parshadas, his eternal associates. No one else can stand in front of the Lord even for a moment. So these are exceptional demons. Nobody else can defeat them. Nobody can defeat them. So Vinashaya Dushkritam means those Dushkritinas which cannot be defeated by anyone. The Lord himself has to come. And again, there is a history behind that. The Lord himself has to come because they are actually the Lord's associates. Same with Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, Dantavakra, like that. And as you said, the Lord comes for this purpose. And when he comes, side by side, other things are also done. Just like The example is when when a chief guest is invited, or let's say the president or the prime minister is invited to inaugurate a hospital in a village, right? So the prime minister's purpose of coming to that village is to inaugurate the hospital. He'll be there for maybe 10 minutes or something, or yeah, just come and cut the ribbon, take some pictures and go away. Or maybe they'll take him on a tour of the hospital, this room, that room, and that's it. He's coming there just for those 15 minutes, maximum half an hour, but he's just coming for a short period. That's his purpose of coming. But because the prime minister is coming, automatically the roads are cleaned, the buildings are whitewashed, and everything gets cleaned up. He is not coming in order to clean the village. That's not his purpose. He is coming to inaugurate the hospital. But when he comes, automatically everything else is taken care of. Like that, when we say Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya cha Dushkritam, the Lord, of course, is coming for his devotees. But while he is here, other things are also taken care of. Dharma Samsthapanarthaya happens, like all the other things also happen. But he doesn't come specifically for that. And also you can understand, it's the Lord comes only once in a day of Brahma. One day of Brahma has 1,000. One day means just 12 hours. Has 1,000 yuga cycles. In 1,000, let's say 1,000 Dwapar yugas, one of those Dwapar yugas, Krishna will come. Swayam Bhagwan will come. What about all other times? There is no dharmasya glani at other times. In other Kali Yugas there is. So the Lord comes from time to time. His expansions come. So when they come, yeah, they take care of these things. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, and killing the demons, giving protection to the devotees. Yes, they take care of that. But when Swayam Bhagwan comes, he comes specifically. So when Bhagavad Gita is said, here also in this purport, or the previous purport, Srila Prabhupada said, the Lord's expansions, they come for this. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Like that.
Another point also, Mataji, because he wants to attract the devotees.
That's there too.
Yeah.
Yes. So, because devotees are already attracted, but there are the two types of people are there. One is the ignorant or innocent, you can say, who never, they never saw, they never heard. So to attract them, when they see the pastimes of Krishna, they get attracted and they get a desire. Oh, we also want to go back to the Lord. It is so wonderful. That's one thing. And the other thing is those who will not take to Krishna consciousness anyway, but because of his presence, they're also benefited. They're also benefited. They don't get attracted, but just by his presence, they're also benefited. And not only does he come personally, but after he comes, he leaves, he performs pastimes when he comes, right? So he's leaving behind some material, like the Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavad Gita, that future generations who were not there when he, like all of us, right? When he was there, we could not participate. But out of his compassion for all the future generations, he performs these pastimes and they are recorded, right? So they hear. Recorded means they are passed down generation after generation, as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So by that, he is actually benefiting even those people who didn't yet appear and who were not able to see him when he came, who were not able to associate with him when he came. But even after he left, they will be able to benefit from Krishna's appearance. So it's always win-win. Krishna's appearance on this earth is for the benefit of everyone, even those who are envious, those who are demons, those who are innocent, those who are his devotees, everyone is benefited by his appearance. And even those who are not there, they are also benefited, like all of us, because he leaves behind Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, like that.
Yes, Mataji. And Mataji, one quick thing. I just want to. Yesterday, I was having this, like agitation for someone did something, on the road and all. So then I just came across to one quote, which is like the miseries you were talking about, the pure devotees, how they feel. I'm just reading the quote. Whoever gave us the hardest time in this life is actually our best friend, as he became instrumental to lessen our hardship by which we are due. Karma became less. We became purified somehow. However, to completely eradicate our karma and not to have anyone in the future, not to have any more in the future, we need to chant the holy name purely and avoid criticizing the Vaishnavas and non devotees alike.
Very nice. Where is this quote from, Mataji?
This is from Janardhan Maharaj.
Achha.
He
Very,
gave it in a group. Thank you,
very.
Mata.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. Just we don't remember it at that time. But if we, like this, when everything is okay, if we uh, go over quotes like this, then when situations like that come by Krishna's mercy, we may remember it. Very
Yes,
nice.
Mata. And exactly when the things happen, you don't feel it. Yesterday, like someone was smoking, and I was thinking, like many people die for passive smoking. You are not even smoking, but you are forced to smell that, because you are, in that area. So then I was thinking, I was really agitated. And then I came across this quote and I was thinking, oh my God, Krishna is saying, shut up and tolerate.
Yeah. 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 Thank you, Mataji. So, what should I do? So then we won't read this today because it's a big one, but because Neelambari Radha Mataji didn't read, Mataji will read Bhagavad
No
Gita.
worries, Mataji. No worries. Because it's a big purport you have to explain. It's fine. Tomorrow is the best day.
No, you can read the Bhagavad Gita purport, Mataji, instead. Go ahead.
That's okay, Mataji.
Yesterday I had read only the translation because we didn't have time for the purport. So I'll just read the translation one more time. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So Arjun is saying that, so we see Arjun's indecision now. Finally, he's trying to explain to Krishna why he should not fight, but then he's thinking, but that's also not right. I should fight also because I'm a Kshatriya, but I cannot fight because it will give sinful reactions. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So that is Arjun's condition. From this verse, we understand. Mataji, you read the purport, please.
Okay, Mataji. Actually, I couldn't see that. Okay, I can see it.
Yes.
Arjun did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence. Although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Uh, he should nor was there sorry nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious, even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified. Still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, if it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjuna definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened, and he and had complete control. Yes, and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in a royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly victorious, but as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of instructions of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjun was quite fit for liberation unless the senses are controlled. There is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. The and without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjun was competent in all these attributes over and above the enormous attributes in his material relationship. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So some important points in this purport. One thing we already discussed is he didn't know what to do, what was right. What were his various considerations? Why was it difficult for him to decide whether he should fight or not fight? One thing is, if he fought, then there would be unnecessary violence, right? And then, but then if he didn't fight, his duty as a Kshatriya, he would not be doing his duty as a Kshatriya. And let's say he said, okay, I'm not doing my duty as a Kshatriya, at least I'm saving the others. How am I going to live? I would have to live by begging, because Kshatriyas cannot do anything else. Actually, they cannot even beg. Kshatriyas cannot beg. They cannot. So what is he going to do, right? Without ruling, then he'll have to beg. So if he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. And Kshatriyas cannot beg. So what will he do? Should he fight or should he not fight? That was one thing. But then, if you are saying, because if I didn't fight, then I will have to beg. So therefore, I will fight. But fighting, you can only fight. You don't know the outcome of fighting. When two people are entering into a battle, does the person know? Did Arjun know for a fact? Of course, before Bhagavad Gita, did he know for a fact that he's going to win and everyone else is going to, he's going to kill everyone else? Or was Duryodhan sure that he was going to win? When you enter into a battlefield, you just fight. You don't know who's going to win. So, okay, if I didn't fight, certainly I'll have to beg. But if I fought, does it mean that I'm going to be victorious? That's also not certain. I may win, I may not win. Then I don't even win. And unnecessarily, so much bloodshed also happened. And all the elder members are killed. So much sin, Varna Sankara, all these things are also happening. Right? That's a lose-lose situation. I also didn't win, and so many sinful activities also happen like that. So that's one consideration. There is no certainty. There was no certainty of victory. And let's say, no, but you are going to be victorious. If Krishna assured him that you're going to be victorious because you are, fighting for Dharma. Dharma is on your side and Dharma will win, so you will win. Even if I won, still I will not be able to enjoy that kingdom. He said, right? Because He won't be able to enjoy without family members with whom he can share, Duryodhan and brothers and everyone else. He wouldn't be able to live peacefully. So that was one reason. So with all these reasons, Arjun is thinking, I don't know, what should I do? Right? So now he's going to ask Krishna, you tell me definitely what I should do. Right? But what we see from Arjun's personality is he's such a soft-hearted devotee, right? And he has compassion for others. And also he's highly enlightened. And he had control over his mind and senses. He had control over his mind and senses. How you're saying he has control over his mind and senses? That means he's ready to even see. An uncontrollable, someone whose senses are not controlled, what is the symptom? He will be engaged in sense gratification, isn't it? If you took away his sense gratification, what will happen to him? Like those who are addicted to intoxication, let's say. If you took away that intoxication, how does that person react? He'll go mad. He can even kill someone to get that. That is uncontrolled senses. But someone who has his senses and mind under control, even if he doesn't get what he wants, he's able to accept it. He's able to accept it. Arjun is a Kshatriya. For a Kshatriya to beg is unimaginable. But he was so much, he had his senses and mind under his control so nicely that he doesn't mind even begging. If by his begging all these people are saved and the future generations are saved, the ancestors are saved from going to hell, so many problems can be solved simply by his accepting the begging profession. He doesn't mind that. This shows that not only was he a soft-hearted devotee, kind devotee, he was enlightened and he had his mind and senses under control. Okay? Yeah, sign of detachment. So someone who has such, so who is eligible to receive instructions from Krishna, right? The lessons are taught when there is a class, 100 people listen. But who is able to grasp the points? The recipient also needs qualification, right? Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dedavrata, right? So someone who has finished all his sinful activities, is not and he has enough, pious credits. Such a person, when he comes in contact with a devotee, he is able to immediately take to Krishna consciousness. So Arjun is so highly qualified, we see from his consciousness. Now he is actually a perfect recipient to receive instructions from Krishna. It's like a fertile land. You put a seed in such a land, immediately there will be, the seeds will sprout right away. That's the point. So he was truly virtuous as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of instructions of Krishna. That we will see. The next verses will say that. Right? He accepts Krishna as his spiritual master. That means he has faith in Krishna, in Krishna's instruction. He has all these wonderful qualities. He has a soft heart. He's enlightened. His mind and senses are under control. And also he has faith in the words of Krishna. So Arjun is a fit candidate for liberation. Like that. He was competent in all these attributes. So he is fit for liberation. So liberation cannot come without knowledge and devotion. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Devotion is also required. Even for the jnanis, little bit of devotion is required. Otherwise, there is no liberation. So for knowledge, you need to control your senses, and then by that you get knowledge, and then after knowledge also you have to have bhakti. Then only you'll get liberation. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, then one varnashram system that has this specific, like Kshatriya will be only fighting. Then why do they so many history we hear this banishment for whatever reason, right or wrong, that's a different scene. But for banishment, Kshatriya should not be banished like that, because then you are actually forcing them to do something which is not supposed to be done by them, right? Because they are
But
begging there and living, or accumulating and eating. They're just sustaining that way, but that is not their actual dharma, right?
actually for Kshatriyas, no. But generally when they live in the forest, they're not living as Kshatriyas, right? When they live in the forest, they are living, it's like a period of uh,
Punishment. It's a punishment, but then that's not a right punishment for them, right? Because Kshatriya is supposed to, like we were reading, that because of this dilemma which Arjuna is having, and why Krishna also went for, like asking that, just give them 5 villages, then they should not be, because a fight, the fight, what is it called, even the prisoners of war which we have, so
hmm,
they are not real prisoners, they're
right,
not like thugs or anything like that.
right.
Same way, this banishment which we see in the Lord Rama's case as well as here, well, those are different, I know the different reasons and all those, but there are many cases which in the history has happened, that the kings and, like the prince and all, they are banished from the kingdom, and they are living like this is not right, right? Because varnashram, they should be, I mean, this is not a right punishment. That's what I'm thinking. I am just saying, if you
So
can.
again, you will have to tell me specifically who you're talking about, because in the
No, you
Pandavas
see,
case, it was not a punishment. It was actually they were cheated. They were
yes,
cheated.
correct.
So that was, yeah, no, that's not, you
That
know,
should have been, they should have revolted there itself, because
yeah, that was the whole problem. That's what Draupadi was saying. You know, the elders were there, Bhishma Dev was there, Dhritarashtra Maharaj was the king, Vidura is here, and Bhishma Dev. They should have said something about it. They should have stopped it. It was not right. But everyone kept silent. That's why the Battle of Kurukshetra happened and everyone was killed.
no, even Krishna should have intervened, no, because that is not dharma. That is beyond. That is, well, they wanted Bhagavad Gita. He wanted Bhagavad Gita to come and all those things. I know, but I'm saying that because that is against dharma. Like, even rightfully, even if you banish someone who is a kshatriya, who only that's the only livelihood, or how they live their life. That's not right, right?
Unless they do all these sins, पाप का घड़ा भरता नहीं है, right? The pot of sin won't be filled up. Only when the pot of sin is filled up, then the final punishment will come. So sometimes Krishna allows that, and meanwhile the devotees are also glorified, because if everything is nice all the time, how you will see the greatness of devotees? Only in difficult circumstances you see how great they are, because ordinary people under these circumstances, they wouldn't be able to survive. But devotees, under all circumstances, they're able to remember Krishna. So that is also there. And the other party was sinful, but their sins, finally when the battle happens, the way they were killed, for that to happen, they had to complete, just like Shishupal had to finish 100, right? uh, offenses like that. So when the final moment came, then they were killed. But so, of course, it's not justified. The Pandavas being banished to the forest is not justified. But as devotees, they took advantage of that also. Pandu Maharaj also went to the forest because he wanted to retire. Retire in the sense, he even Kshatriyas actually need they need to, just like, like a retreat or something, right? So for them, the retreat would be go to the forest and spend time with the sages. But that's not an indefinite time. Usually they go, sometimes they go for a few days, couple of days, 3 days, or maybe longer time. They spend time, and they're Rajarshis, they're rishis in the role of Raja, kings. So they become, once again, they recharge themselves and then they come back and they rule. So that is okay. And as far as begging, they don't really beg. When they're living in the forest, they're not begging. They go and collect whatever roots and fruits they get in the forest, they eat that. The only time they were begging was when they were hiding incognito. Even that situation, the Lakshagraha was arranged. So their lives were in danger. Actually, not really. They could have gone back and fought. But Yudhishthir Maharaj said, we don't know who the enemy is and what their plans are. And this was actually not Yudhishthir Maharaj's, this was Vidura's suggestion. So stay. And Vyasdev himself said, you stay hidden, don't reveal yourself yet. Go and stay in Ekachakra as Brahmanas. So they were living incognito and they were playing the role of Brahmanas, so then they would beg. But when they were living in the forest, those 13 years, they were not begging. They were not begging. When you live in the forest, you just accept whatever. Same with Lord Ramchandra. And he was in the forest for 14 years, he was not begging. They were just living in the forest like rishis and sages. So that's not bad, that's okay. But still, Kshatriyas means Kshatriyas have to rule. But for certain period, they can go to the forest mainly to associate with sadhus. Remember, Kshatriyas need to be guided by the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. They always need somebody to guide them. So sometimes they go to the forest, they spend some time, and they get recharged, rejuvenated, and they come back and they rule. So that is okay. And if you're thinking of any other specific personalities who are banished by the government, by the king, and by the king means a Kshatriya is banished for life. If you know of such situations, you can bring them up and we can speak.
Harishchandra, I don't remember exactly what situation, but he was also in the desert and all those stuff.
He
Whatever.
left. Actually, that was also when the demigods are involved, then that's a whole different story. That only highlights, glorifies that devotee. So Harishchandra and Vishwamitra Muni. So once in the heavenly Lord Indra's assembly, there was glorification of King Harishchandra of this earth, how he was so charitable and so on and so forth. So Harishchandra ends up giving Vishwamitra Muni in charity. So there are, something like, he promises to give him so much wealth. And in order to fulfill that promise, he had to give his whole kingdom, and then still he was not able to fulfill the condition, like whatever wealth he promised. It was something like somebody stands on top of an elephant and he throws a coin as far as it goes, and you know if you fill that whole place with gold coins or something, that much wealth you have to give Vishwamitra Muni. There was some the condition of charity was like that. So now to fulfill his, because he's a truthful person, he would not. So the discussion or the argument that was going on in Indra's assembly was that Harishchandra would never go back on his word. He's so truthful. So to test that, then Vishwamitra Muni comes down and this whole thing happens. So he's put through such difficult situations just to see if, under the pressure of sometimes temptation, sometimes uh, a fear, maybe he will lie, maybe he will go back on his word. But he never went back, even when his son was dying, or his wife, or he had to, she was arrested, she was getting killed, and so many things happened. And finally he ended up working in a crematorium, like a chandala. So many things happened, but whatever difficulties he went through, he was always truthful. He never gave up his dharma. That's one thing that he didn't lose. He lost his kingdom, he lost his family, he lost everything. He was actually a servant of a Chandala, not even a Chandala. He was working for a Chandala. That's why he was working in the crematorium. But he never gave up being truthful. So finally, the demigods and the Vishwamitra Muni, they all came down and they accepted him, and once again he became the king. All this was just a test. It was like you know, it was orchestrated by the demigods to test Harishchandra. So that's also a particular case. And after that whole thing, once again, his son was alive, his wife was with him, he was a king once again. Like that.
Yes, Mataji. Beautiful stories, right? I mean, so much to learn from this. But one thing, Mataji, also the other angle of Arjuna, why Krishna made all those, like they were there incognito, these, that. So by that time, they were actually in the background preparing for the upcoming, war, because he got so many astras and all those during that time. Remember?
Incognito means the 13th year in Viratnagar. That one.
Yes, the whole, I'm saying the whole for 12 years or how
13
many?
years.
13 years. The whole 13 years, he was earning. Remember, he got married, he was earning all those astras. He fought with Shiva, he pleased Lord Shiva, he got his astra. So, actually, in the background, if we see, those years were actually useful because
Preparation. Yeah.
yeah, he got so many friends and allies, and then the astras also. So
Yeah.
whatever Krishna does is never a waste, I have seen. In the long run, even with our life, we see in the long run, okay, this is the reason. When we are
Yes.
going through that trouble, we don't see at that time, we think, why is it this happening? This is not right, and all those things. Right?
But a pure devotee, even while going through that, also, even they don't see how it is good. They're going through the difficulty. They don't understand why it's happening, but they have faith, even while going through that difficulty, that Krishna knows what he is doing. Whatever he is doing, it must be good. Avashya Rakhyave Krishna. He will certainly protect me. That is the faith of a pure devotee.
Yes, Mataji. I hope I become a pure devotee one day.
Yes, I hope so too, for myself and for all of us. Maybe some of you are already. So let's read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita a little bit and I'll end. Uh, so Srila Prabhupada's lecture we were reading yesterday. Prabhupada is speaking on behalf of the Supreme Consciousness and he offers his day-to-day activities as an example of dovetailing with the Supreme. I am here always working at something, reading or writing. Something, reading or writing, 24 hours. Simply when I feel hungry, I take some food. And simply when I feel sleepy, I go to bed. Otherwise, I don't feel fatigued. You can ask Mr. David whether I'm not doing this. So that means Srila Prabhupada is saying, whatever you do, dovetail it in the Lord's service. And Srila Prabhupada is giving his own example. So you also, whatever you do, you dovetail that in Krishna's service. Srila Prabhupada is saying. Of course, the Swami's daily routine doesn't require certification from David Allen, and any of his regular visitors can see that he is transcendental. His personal life is a perfect example of dovetailing with the Supreme Consciousness. Prabhupada has always kept himself dovetailed with the Supreme. He had been perfectly dovetailed in Vrindavan also, and had no personal need or motive to come to America. Important. He didn't have any personal need or motive to come to America. How many of us can say that? Right? We don't have any personal need or personal motive to go to America. Srila Prabhupada didn't have. He was in a much better situation in Vrindavan. And then after coming to America, living on the Bowery, imagine. At that age, it was for others' sake that he came to the Bowery. And it is for others' benefit that he is speaking tonight. His spiritual master and Lord Krishna want the conditioned souls to come out of their illusion before it is too late. speaking vigorously even until he becomes physically exhausted, sometimes shouting, sometimes pleading, sometimes laughing. He gives his audience as much as he feels they can take. As the emissary of Krishna and the disciplic succession, he can boldly shout that everyone should dovetail with the Supreme. He can speak as strongly as he likes for as long as they are willing to listen. He is a sadhu. The Sanskrit word means saint and one who cuts. And he repeats the same message that for thousands of years sadhus of the original Vedic culture have spoken. He is reviving the eternal spirit of the Vedic wisdom to cut the knots of ignorance and illusion. So, Prabhupada speaking. So, everything is illusion from the beginning of our birth, and that illusion is so strong, it is very difficult to get out of. The whole thing is illusion. Birth is illusion. The body is illusion. The bodily relationship and the country are illusion. The father is illusion. The mother is illusion. The wife is illusion. The children are illusion. Everything is illusion. And we are contacting that illusion, thinking we are very learned, advanced. We are imagining so many things. But as soon as death comes, the actual fact, then we forget everything. We forget our country, we forget our relatives, we forget our wife, children, father, mother. Everything is gone. So we will continue reading tomorrow. So tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow we'll have a short class. Have a class at the temple tomorrow, but we will do little bit. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Today is Sunday, so you have a wonderful Sunday program. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.